Hello and welcome to the final edition of North Penn's Finest for the 1998-1999 school year. I'm your host, Ted Heller. On today's program, we will be talking to 1999 North Penn High School valedictorians. Yes, I said valedictorians. All three of them are here with us today. I'd like to welcome Janice Drew, Steve Kim, and Mitch Sipe to the show, all of which are the valedictorians for this year. Janice, why don't we start off with you? First of all, welcome. What are the requirements for being the valedictorian?
Well, basically, the valedictorians are the students with the highest GPA, and they calculate this GPA by taking the top 5 majors that students take, and if you have an A, then it's worth a 6.0 or a 5.0 or 4.0, and usually the valedictorians have a GPA of 6.0.
Okay. Is it mandatory to have a 6.0?
If the highest GPA is in a 6.0, then that person would be valedictorian.
Okay. Was it difficult for you to attain this?
I think like the 6.0 classes are usually more difficult, so some of the classes were more difficult, some weren't as difficult, but basically together with all 6.0s it would be a little bit difficult to attain. Okay.
Steve, what about for yourself? Was it difficult for you?
It does require a lot of work and a lot of time spent on your studies and your academics. Like Janice said, like taking honors courses and AP courses, it does take up a lot of time, and some of the courses are harder than others. So to get straight A's in every subject area is fairly difficult to do.
What about for yourself, Mitch? Difficult?
I think it's a different kind of stress, because when you need to get an A every marking period all the time for 3 years, it's different than a B here or there that isn't really going to affect your grade point average, but would knock you out of the #1 ranking. It's something that when you know you're #1, you have that added stress. That
so do you know you're #1? Like throughout your high school career, you can find out if you're #1?
Yeah, you can go down and check at the home offices with the secretaries. They have
so when
listing.
did you find out you were #1?
Oh, they do it at the end of their sophomore year, end of your junior year, halfway through your senior year, and at the end of your senior year.
Well, you were all #1 during your sophomore year?
Yeah, there were actually 4 of us before.
Okay.
And one of them moved away.
Okay, all right. When you came into North Penn High School, coming from 9th grade to 10th grade, is this what you wanted to be? Did you even think about it, or was this just something that came about? Mitch, what about you?
I guess it was something I thought about, that if I could do it, if I could go all the way through with straight A's, then great. Like, I guess I'll go for it. But it was never really, in the early stages anyway, like the #1 thing on my list. It was always just like, if I can do it, I'm going to put in the effort and try my best and do what I can.
Steve, what about yours?
It's always been like a goal of my parents as well as mine, I suppose. At some point in 9th grade, Mitch and I decided that we were going to be valedictorians together because we're best friends, and but that would be cool.
How long have you known each other?
Since 5th grade.
5th grade.
Yeah.
Elementary school? Which elementary school?
General
Give them a
Nash.
little plug. General Nash.
Yeah.
General Nash started off your careers.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right.
I went to Gwinnett Square.
I was going to make sure we plugged Gwinnett Square too. Great school. Great school. Jazz, what about yourself?
What was the question again?
The question was, when you came to North Penn High School, is it your goal to be a valedictorian?
I don't think that was my first goal. I thought it would be nice, and my sister got it, and it would be nice to follow up, but like it wasn't the most important thing in my life. I think it would be nice, but my goal was to do my best in high school. So
we've had some counselors on here in some previous shows, and they talked about not only is getting good grades, it's about becoming involved in other activities. I mean, are you involved in other activities? Do you have any other activities you're in, Janice?
Quite a few, I think.
Okay,
but,
what are they?
Basically, I do publications, different publications like the newspaper and literary magazine. And also, I like to do science stuff like science fair, and also different community service activities.
You talked about the science fair. What is the science fair, if you can educate our audience?
Well, basically, the science fair is a competition for any student in the high school, or even down. I started in 6th grade, so basically any student can do it, and you develop a problem and work through a hypothesis and actually do the experiments, and then after you do the experiments, you write up a paper and make a board and a presentation, and then present that to different judges. So it involves paperwork, and it involves design, like designing a backboard, as well as actual communication skills with the judges. So basically, it's a really good opportunity for students to do anything.
So it's a competition.
Right.
Did you compete this year?
Yes.
Okay. How did you do?
Well, I got a second place at the regional fair and a first at the tri-state level, and also there's different types of competitions. So there's also Junior Academy of Science. So that was this was my second year doing that, and that's just using overheads to present. So it develops your speaking skills, and the overheads that presentation resulted in a first place at the state level as well.
Oh, congratulations!
So, thanks.
Steve, what about yourself? Other activities other than being a valedictorian?
My primary activity is student government. I'm the president here at North Penn High School this previous year. I'm also involved in the Chinese Club as treasurer, National Honor Society. I was involved with boys tennis for 2 years, involved with the orchestra here.
Yeah.
Just things around the school.
Keep him busy.
Yeah.
Okay. Mitch, what about yourself?
I'm very involved in the choral programs with Dr. Giersch, the concert choir, chamber singers, and ambassadors. Also, National Honor Society, I'm president, and Janice forgot to mention he's vice president of that. So that takes a lot of our time. And also the gifted mentorship program, which we're all involved in. It's lots of fun. I got to teach kindergarten this year, so that's fun.
You participated in a Senate Youth program in Washington. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Senate Youth program?
It was just a really amazing week. It's funded by the Randolph Hearst Foundation, and they take 2 kids from every state and send them down. We stay in the Mayflower Hotel.
No, you say they take 2 kids. Just randomly they pick 2 people, or did you apply for this?
It was a pretty extensive selection process. We had to go through the first round of paper cuts and then go through an interview process, and it was pretty long and extensive. I think I turned in my application in October and found out in early January that I was accepted into it. So there are actually, I think, 102 kids there, because there were 2 kids from Washington, D.C., and it was just amazing. We saw every different branch of the government. We had senators speaking to us at our dinner, the ambassador from Japan. Just an overall amazing week. Just really got a lot of us to see the parts of government that not everyone gets to see on a daily basis.
Is this something you might want to continue later on?
Yeah, political science is definitely one of the majors I'm considering for college.
Steve, you were on one of the shows earlier this year. You participated in the Governor's School program. Can you give us a little refresher on what you did in the program?
It was during this past summer, and basically for 5 weeks we stayed at the University of Pittsburgh, where we concentrated on healthcare. That was the area of academics that I was in before. We shadowed doctors. We had people come and talk to us about ethics involving medical practice, things of that nature. It was really helpful for any students that are hoping to go into the medical field.
Janice, are you going to school next year?
Yes.
Okay, I assume all of you are going to be going off to college. Where do you plan, I'm going to ask all 3 the same question, where do you plan on going to?
Well, I plan to go to Princeton University, where my sister is.
So. Did you apply to any other schools?
I applied to 7 schools.
Okay. Is this the one you wanted to get?
Actually, I wanted to go to Yale, but Princeton is good too.
Okay.
So.
Steve, what about yourself?
I applied to Harvard and got an early action, so I found it in December. That's the only place I ever ended up applying. That was my first choice.
You applied just to Harvard and that was it?
Yeah, that was my first choice, so
what
fortunate
if?
for me. Yeah, I had some what ifs
Must
too,
feel pretty good.
Yeah. When I went up there, though, it reassured me that this was the place I wanted to be for the next 4 years of my life, so yeah, and hope to study in pre-med.
Okay. Harvard, it's a good program.
Yeah.
Good program. Mitch, what about yourself?
I'm going to University of Virginia, which was, I applied to 9 schools, and that was my top choice out of those.
That's great. Great. I don't remember anyone talking about Temple, but maybe didn't get accepted probably. You probably applied to Temple. They didn't take you, but Harvard did. That's congratulations there. What's your major going to be?
I think I like architecture, but I'm not positive. I'm looking at a certificate in teaching or in visual arts, and also maybe a science.
Okay. Steve, you talked about pre-med, and you talked about political science, was it?
Either political science or religious studies. I'll either be a politician or a minister.
Okay, there's a nice broad range.
Yeah.
Okay. In 10 years from now, where do you see yourself in 10 years from now? Mitch, where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Judging by my family history, I'll probably still be living in Lansdale. I don't know, either being a politician or a minister, or both simultaneously. Hopefully have a family started and going by then.
Okay. Steve, what about yourself?
A lot like Mitch, I probably want to have a family by then at some point. I would just be coming out of med school, so I'll probably still be like learning to be a doctor, taking residency or internships or something like that.
Ultimately, when you do become a doctor, what level of being a doctor and where?
Oh, I would just like to be a pediatrician because I like little kids. I want to see them grow up, you know, and be able to work with them. Ideally, in a small town. Lansdale's getting a little too crowded for me. Small town practice where I can like get to know my patients and stuff like that.
Great, Steve. Janice, what about yourself? 10 years from now?
I'm not sure if I'm going to be having a family. I haven't decided whether I want to be married yet, but I think I'd like to put my all into either my job or my kids. So if I'm in a job, I think I'd be either teaching at K-12 level or at a college. And also, like, I'm interested in going to another country and maybe doing some architectural work, like in a third world country or somewhere else.
Okay, great, great. When you get to college, how do you expect college to be different than North Penn High School? Steve, why don't we go with you this time? How's it going to be different? Or maybe it won't be different at all?
Oh, I'm sure it'll be different. College life, it just seems like you're on your own. You don't have your parents there. It's up to you to find out who you are. You make your own decisions, and you really, I think college is a time period where you truly find out like who you are, what you're made of, and that sort of thing. High school is kind of like you live with your parents, and they help you grow and nurture you. But college is when you finally.
You know what's nice about college?
yourself.
I know I experienced this when I went to college. No more bathroom passes or locker passes, or it's one of those nice extras you don't have to worry about. Mitch, what do you think?
Well, like Steve said, I think it's a lot less sheltered. If you're going to do good, it's because of your own initiative. No one's really going to push you either way. If you don't want to go to classes, you're not going to go, and you're going to pay the penalty for that.
That's right.
So it's if you want to do the work and you're going to put your effort into it, then you're going to do well. And if you don't do the work, you're not going to do well. It's that simple.
Okay.
I think college is going to be less broad and like more focused. Like you'll have to pick instead of wanting to do everything. Like more just one or two activities and keep working and developing those instead of taking maybe 6 different majors. You'd be more focused on maybe 1 or 2 things.
Okay. Janice, how do you think North Penn High School has prepared you for college?
I think the teachers have been a really great help from North Penn. All the teachers I've had I've learned a lot from, and they've all encouraged the different aspects of life at North Penn and helped in developing the skills I might need for college. So, and like the different content of the classes, with the higher level classes, they really give the different types of classes that you might be taking at a college.
Steve, what about yourself?
I think North Penn provides me with a broad foundation. Here I took a whole bunch of major, like different classes, English, social studies, science, all that stuff. And I really got to learn about a wide range of different topics, different majors and stuff. Whereas in college, while we're primarily focusing on one major, I think North Penn gave me that foundation to build that on.
Great. Mitch, what about yourself?
Like Dr. Cotter says, he always says that North Penn is a school of excellence, and I really have to agree with him. I don't think there's any school that would prepare us as well.
Can I just stop for a second? You're going to be the greatest politician, because not only are you promoting North Penn High School, but you gave the principal a little plug, too.
I try.
Very good. Nice move there, Mitch. Nice.
I think that the quality of the activities, the opportunities, and the teachers here are just unparalleled. And I really think that's prepared all of us very well for the college experience.
I just had a side note here. SATs. You all took SATs. What were your scores?
Top secret, classified.
Classified?
1490.
14.
Yeah.
Okay. In that range?
It was 1490 split, 800 math, 690 verbal.
Okay.
1520.
1520. Back to the top secret. Still top secret?
No, it was 14 something or other.
Okay. That's a show in itself. We have 4 people up here that had 14 or something or higher, so that's great. What is your most memorable point of North Penn High School? Mitch,
Oh, man.
what's your most memorable moment?
I'd have to say the CB West game in the pouring down rain, losing by 1. It's just to see the North Penn crowd get that into a game. It was just phenomenal.
You're right.
Great experience.
You're right. I was there too. It's one of my moments too. It's a great moment. Steve, how about yourself?
The greatest memory I'll probably take from North Penn is probably the senior prom, just because I don't know, the senior prom just seems to be a natural memory for a lot of people, and so I mean it's something I'll carry with me for a long time.
How about you?
I don't have, I think, a single most memorable event, but I think that running has really given me something that's different. It's something that I never thought I would do, but I just tried out for it, and I think especially cross country, that would probably be something the difficulty in running 3.1 miles.
Right.
So that would be
Difficult for me. Commencement's coming up. You're all in charge of doing speeches. How are the speeches? How are the speeches coming along? First of all, speeches in good shape? Are they fine? Are they finalized at this point?
I think they're supposed to be.
I
but
see everyone looking around at each other, trying to hem and haw around here. Steve, what do you think? How's your speech coming along? Do you have any
Not
hints
too well.
on your speech at all?
I haven't gotten anywhere on my speech really.
Good, Steve.
And
Good.
it was due
Okay.
yesterday or something
Yeah.
like that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Mitch, what about yourself?
I started on it, but I haven't finished it, so I don't know what my conclusion is going to say, and that's the main point. So.
What do they ask for your speeches?
I think last year they had themes, a single theme
Okay.
for them, but this year they had an open
Okay.
book.
How's
so.
yours?
It's done. I'm a female, so I'm a little fasted and
First of all, congratulations, Valedictorians. It's amazing. With the number of students we have here at North Penn High School, over 800, and the fact that all of you are number 1, that's quite a feat, so congratulations, and thanks for being on the show. This is our final show for this year of North Penn's Finest. I hope you enjoyed all the programs we were able to put on for you. We'll come back again next year with some more great programming. I'd like to thank Channel 16 for giving me this opportunity. And I want you to have a safe and happy summer when we get there. And for North Penn Television and North Penn's Finest, I'm your host, Ted Heller. Thanks a lot.